Hi guys, welcome to another edition of India Marketing TV's 9-part series on critical aspects of marketing your interior design business. In the previous video, we discussed how you can design your business website, and today we will see what search engine optimization or SEO is all about. As I was saying, in this video, we are going to take a look at SEO. To kick things off, let's take a look at the broad picture of what we want to accomplish in this video series and where we are right now. Okay, this video series is aimed at giving you an idea of how you can establish an identity for your business. Okay, which we call the brand identity, and launch your business in the digital world. The objective is to really create an online ecosystem that will help you get clients, get sales, and raise the resources required to take your business to the next level. Okay, so that's the objective, right? Till now, we have looked at creating a brand identity for your business and how you can create a website that represents your identity and acts as an online store. Okay, so what's the next piece of the puzzle? Okay, what do you think? Think of offline world. You have created a company, you have opened a store. What's the next concern? Okay, getting people to visit your store, right? Getting footfall. So if people don't visit your store, they are certainly not going to buy your products. So you need them to visit the store, right? So how do you go about getting people to visit your store? Now, going by the example of the brick and mortar store, you might think people are going to see it when they walk by, okay, and they are going to drop in, right? So, but that doesn't happen online, okay? You can open a dozen websites and there is just no way people are just going to see those while they are strolling by, okay? So that's the concept, this concept just does not exist online, okay? Your second suggestion might be to go to the newspaper office, TV channels and radio and buy ads in those mediums. And yes, paid advertising does exist online, but that's not the way you should proceed immediately when you set up your website, okay? While paid ads don't require lump sum payments like newspaper and TV ads do, Google will bill you every time someone clicks on your ads, okay? And that can balloon into a huge cost that you should not incur till you start getting some sales going. Once a few sales are concluded, you gain some credibility as a business and you get some cash which you can reinvest, in paid advertising, right? So, long story short, paid advertising should not be your first approach to getting website visits, and I will talk about paid promotion later, a whole lot later. So, how do you get website traffic? Okay, people don't just scroll by your website online, and paid promotions should not be done at this stage. Okay, so can't you think of a third way? Say you own an interior design firm, Elegant Designs in Los Angeles, right? And there is a know-it-all guy in the town, who advises people with solutions to their questions. So you go up to them, you go up to this guy and tell him, hey, Mr. Know-it-all, I have this company called Elegant Designs, which is the best interior design in Los Angeles, right? So Mr. Know-it-all has a reputation to protect, and he isn't going to recommend you based on what you tell him, right? So he sends his assistants who visit your shop and see what you're all about and what you have, what you have to offer, and they report back to him, right? If and only if his assistants tell Mr. Know-it-all that the elegant designs is really a big deal, and the next time someone is Los Angeles, ask Mr. Know-it-all, which interior design firm should I use to design my home? Okay, Mr. Know-it-all replies, elegant designs, right? Now, this is much more elegant way of getting people to your store than paid ads, isn't it? And this is what SEO is all about, right? So Mr. Know-it-all is Google. When you set up your website, Google bots discreetly visit your website and go through it to see what you are about, right? And in technical terms, this process is called crawling. Now, since you are on your way to becoming a digital marketer, you should become familiar with some of the jargon, right? Anyway, so Google's bots crawl through your website and give Google's algorithm feedback on what they viewed in your website. And based on this feedback, Google indexes, and there's another technical term for you, right? Google indexes your website, which means Google places your website address on its register and allocates your website a particular rank of credibility, right? So the next time someone makes a search for an interior designer in your location, Google serves them the search results based on its register, right? With search results ranked in order of credibility. And this process of crawling and indexing is not something that happens only once or once per day, right? It's always happening every second, and Google's index, is constantly getting updated, right? So search engine optimization is a process to optimize your website so as to send a clear signals, to Google's bots when they come crawling to your website. Now, by the way, signal is also a technical term in SEO. In SEO, a signal is a characteristics or a feature of your website that Google's algorithms take into account when indexing your website, right? So, can you guess how many signals Google takes into account? 5, 10, 50, 200? Now, Google looks at around 200 features of your website to determine where to index it. Okay. Now, does that make you feel a little overwhelmed, nervous? Relax. All 200 signals are not equally important. Okay. Technically speaking, of course, SEO would involve, optimizing all 200 signals. However, practically, only a few of those optimizations would be meaningful. And that is why, for practical purposes, SEO has come to mean a few select actions, okay, optimizing a few selected features, right? And this is, really the core of today's presentation, the most important SEO that you absolutely must do in order to rise through the ranks in Google's index, right? So let's just take a step back and go through what we have covered so far. In earlier editions of this 9-part series on critical aspects of marketing your interior design business, we went through some importance of establishing a brand identity for your business and how you can create a website to reflect that brand identity. Now, today's videos is picks up from the point where your website has been created and tries to take a look at how you can get people to visit your website. Now, briefly speaking, you can get people to visit your website in two ways. You can pay Google to place your advertisements online, and you can gain a high rank in Google search index. Okay. Now, paid ads will leave aside for now because it does not make sense to spend money on advertisements till you have a minimum amount of interest generated around your website. Okay. Now, there's a ton of other content your ad will compete with for attention, and it will get lost if you don't have a minimum degree of credibility already, right? So, this brings us to SEO. Now, how you can convince Google to assign you a high rank in their search index, okay? Now, Google's bots scroll through your website, testing out various signals, and how well you do on those signals determines how high your rank is, okay? So now, we need to see which are the most important signals that Google is going to examine, in order to rank your website. Now, signals are those features that enhances, the browsing experience. Now, let's say, you yourself are visiting a website, okay? So, what's the first hurdle you are likely to experience? Loading, right? So, if the site takes too long to load, or if some of the web pages, take too long to load, that's an immediate mood killer. Okay, now you are likely to hit the back button. Okay, so that's the one signal, load time. Now, once the web page loads, the next hurdle you may face is individual pieces of content that didn't load correctly, okay, like broken images. However, this is usually included within the same signal, okay, loading. Now, however, there is one important factor that we have overlooked, okay. What device are you accessing a website from? A desktop or a phone? You see, more and more people are choosing to access the internet from their mobile phones, these days. And the issues are like broken images become particularly acute in phone browsing. Now, another critical issues, in phone browsing is the width of a web page, okay? If the web page is too wide, you will need to stop scrolling, you will need to keep scrolling side to side to read every line. And this is not desirable, okay? So, we have moved the past issues of loading and mobile optimization, right? So what comes next? Finding your content, right? The website must make it very easy for you to find the content you are looking for. Now, Google's bots refer to something known as a sitemap when they are crawling through your website. Okay, a well-organized sitemap enables the bots to crawl through your website quickly, and that earns you a high rank. Now, this signal is called website architecture. A well-organized website will get a higher rank in Google search index because visitors will be able to find content easily in such a site, and that boosts the browsing experience. Right. So let's say a website is well organized and you were able to find what you were looking for. Now you want to make a purchase, right? Would you just whip up your card and do it? If that's what you do, stop. Here's an all important tip. Okay, now check whether the web page is secure. In other words, does the website address starts with http or https? That stands for secure, and it means that the web page in question is securely encrypted and protected against hacking. Now this is another ranking signal: secure websites, right? Now anything else? Yes. Have you encountered 404 pages or any other pages while browsing? Do they add to the site experience? They don't, do they? So, site errors is another thing that you need to keep a track of, okay? Now, finally, we come to the signal that's the fairest of them all. Care to guess what it is? Have you ever heard the phrase, content is the king? You have, haven't you? So don't take my word for it, okay? Go to any discussion forum on SEO where the reputed people answer queries, right? And in response to many questions, you will see the same answer keep coming, okay? Keep creating great content, right? So the quality of content, the credibility of your content, the ease with which your content can be understood, all of these matter. They matter greatly, okay? And that's the biggest piece of the puzzle, content. Now, your contents must be optimized in such a way that Google crawlers can clearly understand it as a credible and useful content, right? In fact, content is such an important feature that several of the content are examined separately by Google's as separate ranking signals. Now, let's take a look at some of these ranking signals, okay? Now, the first up is content freshness. Now, if the content on your website hasn't been updated in a year or over 6 months, that's a turn off, right? Now, when you visit a website, you want the latest information on whatever you are looking for, okay? So the content freshness is the ranking signal. Now, next is content quality. Now, is your content useful to the visitor? Is it easily understood, or is it a pleasure to read? Okay. Now, there is another ranking signal that is closely related with the content quality, and that is your backlink profile. So, what is a backlink profile? Suppose you're reading an article on the Fox News website or on the BBC website. Now, both of which are high quality websites, okay? And from that article, you find a link to a website XYZ. Now, am I in the right saying, that you will immediately have a lot of respect for the website XYZ? If Fox and BBC are linking out to it, XYZ must be credible, right? In SEO terms, we think of it in the other direction. Now, website XYZ has managed to score a link back to itself, from Fox News or BBC. Now, this is what we call a backlink. The number of backlink matters. The quality of backlink, that is, the quality of the website linking back to your website also matters. So that's what the backlink profile is, and all the backlinks on your website. Now, finally, we have come to content relevation. So, given a topic, how relevant is an article to that topic, okay? And the way Google finds that out is keywords, right? So, what are keywords? Let's put it like this, in search terms, you would expect someone to use while Googling a particular topic are the keywords. Now, your content should include appropriate, keywords to ensure it is relevant, okay? And those are the most important factors to consider in search engine optimization. Okay, so let's take a quick recap, okay? Now, in search engine optimization, you improve certain features of your website, technically called ranking signals. You improve certain ranking signals to convince Google's algorithm, that you deserve a high rank on their search index, okay? So the ranking signals are just those signals, that Google judges to affect the quality of the browsing experience. Now, there are thought to be around 200 ranking signals. And here's a fun fact, nobody knows for certain how many ranking signals there are. Now, Google does not make this information public, okay? So 200 ranking signals I refer to is the estimate that various SEO experts have come up with, after a thorough analysis. Anyway, so all 200 or so signals don't matter equally, okay? Some matter more than others. The most important tracking signals are loading website speed, okay, mobile compatibility, site architecture, site security, and site errors, okay. Site content itself is a big feature that can make or break a browsing experience. Now, however, there are so many factors to consider within the site content that several ranking signals have been evolved to examine, site content. So the most important such signals are content freshness, content quality, backlink profile, and keyword profile. So now that we know that the major factors that affect your website's SEO, the logical next step is to see what you can do to ensure you score high on these ranking signals. Okay, so the first site, for site loading speed, you can search for page speed insights on Google. That is a tool developed by Google itself to check loading speed and offer actionable advice on how you can improve it. And alternatively, you can visit a website called GT Metrics, which does the same thing. Okay, for mobile optimization, you can go to Google's mobile friendly test. Okay, that way, the way to optimize your website for mobile browsing is to use something called responsive design, when designing your website. Now, what responsive design does it that to make your web page respond to that device, and it being accessed from and optimizes the web page accordingly. Okay, so for example, if someone is browsing from a mobile, your content will get adjusted to reduce the page width, and so that there will be no, that there is no need to keep scrolling left to right to read every line. Okay, I personally use DV theme for WordPress to develop websites. Okay, and the responsive design is a breeze in DV. Okay, for website architecture, you can consult a professional website developer. You may think from common sense that your architecture is spot on, but that may not be not. That may not be how Google sees things. Okay, so it's best to consult a developer for this one. For website security, you need to install something is known as SSL certificate. Okay, these are just pieces of the code that ensure your website is encrypted securely. Okay, and they are not available for free. Okay, you need to buy them, and however, they are worth it for the credibility they add to your website. Okay, so next thing come is site errors, right? So there are online tools to check your website for errors and offer advice on how to fix them. However, fixing errors may sometimes require serious coding. So once again, if you can't seem to fix an error, it's best to contact a trained developer. The longer the errors persist, the lower your rank will go into Google search index. Okay. So while you're at it, ask your developer to run an audit on your site to spot any errors or anything that can be improved. Okay. For content freshness and quality, you should maintain a blog and keep updating it with useful pieces of content. Okay. For backlinks, you need to once again create great content that have high authority websites. Will want to link back to. Okay. You may want to talk with a developer or an SEO expert on this. Okay. And finally comes the keyword optimization. Make sure your content contains keywords, but don't artificially stuff keywords into your content. Keyword density, that is the number of keywords per word of your article, is not, okay, I repeat, not considered by Google to rank websites. You may in fact be penalized if you stuff your content with keywords. Now, instead of stuffing, be creative with keywords. Okay, Google is very intelligent. It can recognize the intent or implication behind pieces of content easily. Okay, for example, suppose you are writing an article on natural beauty. The natural beauty would be the primary keyword. Okay, a closely related phrases like no makeup or naturally good looking are also keywords. Now, however, even a phrase like the Salma Hayek way, okay, referring to the actress Salma Hayek, who is well known for maintaining her looks naturally, can act as a keyword if used appropriately, okay. So, including that is an intelligent way of boosting your keyword profile. And that's it. the list of SEO signals and how you can work on them. Now, a quick recap before I sign off. Now, this is the third edition of our 9-part series on digital marketing for interior design. Now, in earlier editions, we have seen how to build your brand identity and how to build a website reflecting to that brand identity. Now, in this video, we saw how to get people to visit your website. Now, we have decided that paid ads are the best left to be discussed at a later date. Okay, so for now, we will get people to visit our website by convincing Google to rank our website, high up in the Google search index, right? Now, this is done by SEO or search engine optimization. So, this process, is that Google's bots crawl through your website examining, certain features or signals, and based on how well these features are done on your websites, your rank is decided. Now, we concentrated, on only the most important signals, which are loading speed, mobile compatibility, site architecture, site security, and site errors, content freshness, content quality, backlink profile, and keyword profile. We saw what each of those are, okay, and how they affect the browsing experience and what you can do to improve them and boost your search result ranking, okay. So in the next video, I will talk about starting your own blog, which is pretty important aspect of content optimization. So keep watching this space, okay. Thanks for staying on, guys. Have a nice day and bye bye.